your shirt. Amen? Amen. You as a Christian has to sit and wait in the corner to figure it out when he gives it to you. It is useless to have a gift without love. You can't move a mountain without love. Tongues of men and angels, prophecies, mysteries, and knowledge. Faith that moves mountains can move anything. All these are gifts we may have, but without love, they're useless. Verse 3, gifts we give away. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing.
All right.
All my goods to the poor, you become poor. All my goods, true poverty is something we may not ever comprehend. My body is a burning, living sacrifice. Now let's stop and think about that for a moment. Polycarp, theologians record, was a part of John the Apostle's diaconate ministry. Diaconate meaning deacon ministry. His martyrdom stands as one of the most well-documented events in history. The emperors of Rome had unleashed bitter attacks against the Christians during this period, and members of the early church recorded many of the persecutions and deaths of Polycarp. Polycarp was arrested on the charge of being a Christian, a member of a politically dangerous cult whose rapid growth needed to be stopped. Amidst an angry mob, the Roman governor took pity on Polycarp, would make this declaration and offer a small pinch of incense to Caesar's statue if he could escape torture and death. All he had to say was, Caesar is Lord. To this, Polycarp responded, 86 years I have served Christ, and he never did any wrong. How can I blaspheme my king who saved me? Steadfast in his stand for Christ, Polycarp refused to compromise his love, his belief, and thus was burned alive at the stake. Can you imagine? You see all of these people who are dying for the cause of their religion and for their beliefs. And we can't even just sacrifice ourselves just enough to stand up and give him a praise. Without love, we are nothing. You cannot go to heaven without love. That's the high value Paul places on this Christian attribute. If you think you can be bitter, cold, unforgiving, and unloving and still go to heaven, you got another thing. The vestige of love, meaning the track, the blueprint, the footprint, the evidence. Paul says there is evidence of love. Interestingly, Paul says nothing about what love says. He talks about what love does. He talks about what love does not do. And then he says, God, through the inspired pen of the great Apostle Paul, tells us what he means when he says love. Paul breaks down love. Love is patient. Love never gives up. Love is never tired of waiting. We all have to wait. We all hate to wait. But let me give you something in the now. Why does Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King have $1 billion in sales? Is it just because the food is good? Because I've gone sometimes and it's salty, it's cold, it's like rubber. But yet, we still wait. Patience is a virtue. It's one that we must possess. It's something that women and men we seldom have. According to a traditional Hebrew story, Abraham was sitting outside his tent one evening when he saw an old man, weary from age and a journey, coming towards him. Abraham rushed out and greeted him and then invited him into his tent. There he washed the old man's feet and gave him food and drink. The old man immediately began eating without saying any prayer or blessing. So Abraham, Christians, asked him, "Don't you worship God?" The old traveler replied, "I worship fire only and reverence no other God." When he heard this, Abraham became angry, did he not? Grabbed the old man and threw him out of his tent in a cold night. When the old man had departed, God called to his friend Abraham and asked, "Where's the stranger?" Abraham replied, "I forced him out because he did not worship you." "Who are you?" God answered. "I have suffered him those 80 years, although he dishonored me. Could you not endure him for one night? Love is kind." While living in Jacksonville, I used to go to the Starbucks every morning and after work, all because the employees there were friendly. I had no care of the long lines, and the line would be wrapped around. You know how Starbucks is. As a few of my family members pointed out, I could have stopped at another Starbucks many along my route where I did not have to wait as long. And I said, "I know. But the other employees didn't know my favorite coffee and the special way I wanted it made. And if I told them, it wouldn't be consistent to my liking. Nor would they ask me how my children were doing as my children grew up with me going to that Starbucks. And the employees knew them and now my grandson. I could also check up on Janice. She was one of the managers as I visited the store. And I'm thankful that we were in relationship because one morning she came to work after her brother had taken his life. I was able to share with Janice about my own experiences of losing someone to suicide. We had just lost 5 members of my church to suicide, and one of them was one of our elders. So I was able to share with her the love of Christ. Christian and kindness should be synonyms. Ephesians 4:32, be ye kind to one another. Love does not envy. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Envy wants something that someone else has. It says I'm not happy with what God has given me, and I begrudge my neighbor for what he has. Love does not parade itself. Have you ever seen some people so full of themselves? They get so high because of their accolades that they're receiving that they develop a prowess strut. They begin to put others down. I ain't talking about who I'm talking about, I'm just talking about who I'm talking about. You may have been asked into rooms you didn't know existed. You may be knowledgeable, and you may have it going on like popcorn. And in some cases, rightly so. But please be reminded that love doesn't strut. Love is not puffed up. Is it not okay to be a little puffed up over your accomplishments or what you've done in the church or for the church? Well. That's not what this is about. Christ did not say that our head had to swell to show love. The story Jesus told in Luke 12:16 and 20, he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. He talked about those four different lands. and the one that gave most harvest was dry land. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? I will pull down my barns, and I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? This man was puffed up. Love does not behave rudely. Ever known someone who was downright rude and dismissive? And in some cases, surly? Some people mask rudeness with, I'm just being honest. This is how I am. This is how we used to do it. Is your honesty building or is it tearing down? Love does not act unbecomingly. Love does not seek its own. And this one will hit us all. We all seek our own to some degree, but love isn't selfish. Most people need to get themselves off their minds and their minds off themselves. Love is not provoked, not easily. All of us can be provoked, and some of us can provoke, but it is our negative responses where we lose love. Have you ever noticed certain people always tittering on the edge? I'm going to just stay right there for a minute. I ain't talking about nobody in particular. I'm just talking about who I'm talking about. That's not love. Love thinks no evil. Love does not keep a record of wrongs. I was talking to a friend once and he was depressed. His wife and he were fighting, and he said every time they fought, his wife would get historical. I said, you mean hysterical? He said, no, she get historical. And she calls to memory everything ever done wrong. Love forgives and forgets. I know I'm talking about the women, but men can do it too every now and again. Amen? Love does not rejoice in iniquity. This one goes with the next one. This is a contrast. Ever rejoice over something bad? Never said, have you ever said, it serves her right? It serves him right. Love rejoices in truth. It seeks truth. And it seeks the good in everyone. Love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love hope on all things. Endures all things. Puts up with anything. Trusts God